we're going to attempt, hopefully and successfully today, to make this into a pinch for that anvil. The last time we tried this, we were careless.
Woefully unprepared.
Exactly. We assumed that quick quenching of red hot high carbon steel was a good idea. We were heinously wrong. It turned the high carbon steel into nothing more than styrofoam. The interior structure of the steel was no longer rigid. It was stupidly brittle. So I believe we showed it to you in another one, the critical failure. If nothing else, videographer, throw that piece in there to show you what bad looks like.
What?
Nice.
That is not great.
You just broke it.
It literally did.
You just broke it.
I think we found a weak point in the metal.
We just broke it.
Come on!
After all of that effort, we have nothing
to show for it.
We have nothing at all. And this, all of this, is trash. There is no heat it and make it do something fun again.
What makes you say that?
Mostly because we destroyed the entire molecular structure of the steel.
Yeah,
by chilling
that
it to
would
such
be
a
a
degree.
problem.
Fortunately, though, boys and girls, we have another one of these in the old man footlocker. But this, the reason why we're showing it to you, is, believe it or not, this pinch bar, this crowbar right here, my dad had it when I was in the 3rd grade. He used to run stock cars in East Islip, New York, and this was one of the few things I managed to keep from him when he passed away about 10 years ago. Long story short, he said, if you're not going to use the tool, make it into something else that you will use. So in his honor, we're going to attempt to turn this into something that we can use on that anvil. All right? So, wish us luck and watch how this goes. Remember, do not take high carbon steel and quench it in cold water. Bad, very bad. We will be air cooling this and allowing it to get back to a normal temperature in that hopes that we will keep the molecular structure of the steel intact. Okay? All right, then. Let's see what we can do with this thing. First things first, we're going to probably bob this foot off of it and then possibly reshape this hexagonal effect that this has got so it fits in the keyhole on the anvil. As you can see, it's a little oversized.
It would be a snug fit.
It would be a snug fit. So we will go about reshaping this to where it's an easy drop in there and reshaping this foot to where it comes out and has that effect with this curve. And then it should just pinch itself in there with the friction of being wedged in here and held flat. And then we'll have something that's a third hand. When you're working on something that's too hot and you can't hold this and you need to hold that, for example, if you're doing a punch, it's very difficult to have the punch, the piece, and the hammer all at one time when you're only issued 2 hands. You need to have something to hold this so that you can get started on the other. All right, then. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, I tried using a foot once.
No, foot, no. Especially if you're wearing sneakers, bad.
Well, that's why I went barefoot. It's just then you have a different set of issues.
Yeah, exactly.
You're trying to hold it with a bare foot.
Outstanding.
Doesn't work very well.
All right, let's see if we can clean this thing up a little bit before we get started on it. This is about to get stupidly loud.
Honestly, I didn't need to hear anyway.
Yeah,
Really, now that I think about it.
Fortunately, after years of being in the military, I'm almost about 70% deaf anyway. That's what grenades, high caliber weapons, and munitions sound like when they go off. After a short while, you just start going, huh?
You know, we're under fire. What are you talking about?
I don't hear a thing.
You wouldn't be able to tell unless you weren't paying attention to
really.
You start kicking up around you.
Exactly. That's exactly it. You go, Davis, you're being shot at. Oh, what?
What? You're like, oh, there it is.
You're being shot at. Okay, over that way.
Sign language.
Just sign. You're being shot at. Oh, really? Now, are you sure you want to cut this with this?
Well, now I'm starting to have second thoughts about
Okay.
it for sure, but
Wow.
oh, is it tearing it up?
Oh yeah, man. It's
Oh,
eating this.
geez.
It's eating this disc up. It's eating the disc up. But it's
My
supposed
disc.
to be. Nail a couple more of these shoulders. What we're attempting to do at this point in time is knock off those shoulders that we were talking about on this hexagonal thing, so that it'll fit into that hole, and we don't have to go about trying to hammer these flat. We'll just slightly ground them out. We'll heat cut this here because too loud. All right, working on that idea. Let me get back to this. Coming hot. Jacob,
Yes, sir.
I think we have a stress fracture in here.
Oh,
Flat.
Nice guy.
yeah, it's looking.
Yeah, it
like
looks like we may have gotten. There might be a stress fracture in here. Videographer, come on around to this side. See the stress fracture here?
yeah. It's very hard not to see, actually.
I mean, until we started grinding at it, it was such, there was such a layer of rust and corrosion over it, it was invisible to see.
For sure.
But like I said, this dates back to like dawn of time tool. This was probably the first thing right after the Roman Empire fell that was made.
He wasn't lying. A little piece of it.
It was more like a little poke. It didn't even do anything. It just bounced off my lips. Maybe my lips are too soft.
No, you've got soft lips.
I got soft lips, guys.
That's what his wife said. He's got soft lips. You should be where I am, and these chunks are flying at you at about 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, I could have.
Actually, the reason why they called this a cut, is because you're supposed to straight on.
You're
You're not supposed to this. It's this, which should stop that silliness. Inspect that. See if you think we've got something that's small enough to fit in yon hole.
It will still probably just barely fit. Let's get to chopping.
Turning.
Do a couple more wax. And yeah, we can put her back in. It's been a couple days since we forged something, so we're realigning. Me at least. Well, there it went. Excellent.
Okay, so now we have some idea of how much more material we've got to take away from it.
Precisely.
Oofa!
Wow, did that thing just explode?
It did.
Let's
Flat.
go.
Concrete exploded.
That's pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. When it's cherry red and it hits the concrete, and it's been raining as much as it has been here, this concrete is nice and wet. Well, when it stays on soaking wet concrete, it dries it out quickly, and you get critical failure in your concrete. The point that I've got problem-wise is that I'm going to have to knock all of these shoulders off.
I don't want to waste the grinder on cutting that.
You want to waste the grinder?
I mean,
We have to buy new blades anyway.
Okay, fine, we can do it.
Freaking tourist.
Well, that was quick.
Yeah, you weren't lying about those spikes flying around.
Yeah. Wait for a second. Show that to the camera. You'll notice the difference between the two metals. This cooled wrongly. This cooled properly. Steel, popcorn. Steel, popcorn. So the next time I take these shoulders off, you want to cut it here?
Yeah, honestly, I'm thinking the new line, and that will be like perfect.
I'll cut the new line. Then I'll buff it to about there, to where she'll fit in this hole. And that'll make it to where this literally hits the deck.
Yep.
At that time.
So as soon as we put any material in it, it will be able to
push
actually
itself
create the
backwards,
wedge effect.
in theory. If not,
If not, I'm going to cry.
Yeah, well, that goes without saying.
Well, what would actually make me cry is if we ended up doing the same thing we did last
No, we can't. We can't do that because we're not going to cold water quench it.
That's true.
But we are rapidly running out of material.
We are indeed. But I mean, we'll just create another hole punch. Gotta brush my legs off from all that metal.
Okay. So that's what we have to do.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It looked cool. This is only, what, the third time?
Yeah.
I haven't quite burnt myself enough to remember.
All right.
Cement explodes again.
Let that air cool. Don't touch the belt with your glove. Nice. Okay. And this should be... Voila.
Yep. Yeah, I think that'll do. The test spike should be able to tap that on.
See how it's got such an acute angle here? We'll heat it up one more time and then flatten this blade out to where when it comes down on it, it's laying uniformly flat across the surface of it. Instead of at this angle, it'll be flat across the top of it when this comes down on it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get the nose of this thing warm again. We'll flatten this out.
Just a little tap should be good.
Just a little tap.
And then we'll let her, cool down for a while.
Well, now we know how to do the tool hardening. You leave the back end in at the Jason's south out.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. We'll heat it from the handle up for the knives.
Go. Come on. Like you're mad at it. Come on. There we go.
That's looking flattened out.
There we go.
Yes.
Give me a warp right there.
Yep.
Come on. One more. There it is. Well, it fits real good.
It does indeed. It's nice and snug.
When this gets coolish, we'll try it as a real pinch. If it's happy at that point, then we can throw it in there, warm the entire thing up, and then let it air cool back down to normal. And we should have a lack of this. The temperature range between this point, which is almost tool hardened, and back here, the gradient is too great. We're going to go about taking this. Once we're certain that this has got a decent pinch, we'll take it, throw it back in there, bring the entire thing up to a low red, and then let it air cool. And then that should hold it and give us a nice uniform piece. Yeah. But it's a surface crack. It's not.
Oh, yeah.
It's not cutting through the metal. We can look at the end piece and see where we've cut it off and see that we don't have an actual line bisecting into this, which tells us that we haven't, it's not structurally that flawed. It's been stress loaded, probably by Tom, my dad, who was under the gross misconception that crowbars were designed to actually move planets, tie it off to the other car, put it underneath whatever you want, and drive away with a 3-inch log chain. There you go. Problem solved. Boys and girls out there in the audience land, this has been retempered. There is no more rainbowing through here. All of this is the same uniform color, so therefore all of this steel is now one consistent density throughout. And if we take this, and you'll notice that I'm still handling it because it's still quite warm. Quite nice.
Yeah, there we go. There it is, guys.
This is not coming out. If you needed to do something with this and you needed another hand, this will pinch that onto it, and now you can actually work on something, and this doesn't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Which is hard to do, even when you've got two people working the forge, one person doing the holding of the material and the other person doing the whacking. Sometimes you're putting enough torque on something to literally take it out of the person's hands that's holding it.
Yeah.
But this will do dandy, and then you give it a couple little love taps. The main reason why we can't pick this out is because it's so hot we can't handle it right now.
I think we're just massaging the.
We are definitely massaging.
Massaging this little guy.
Okay.
All right. No, we need another crowbar.
Exactly. I'll go get another crowbar to get this one out.
Oh, there we go. Beautiful.
See,
Excellent.
it was just that you can't handle it barehanded right now.
No, you don't want to do that.
But da-da-da.
Yeah.
And now we'll let this continue to air cool for the foreseeable future. So this has been another fun day with Triforge Smithing. Jacob and I hope you enjoyed the insanity of watching us make stuff today. Again, if we can do it, you can do it, okay? Working on that principle, we've learned a couple of simple things. One, angle grinders are not supposed to be used as files. Don't do that. It throws lots of frags everywhere. Don't do that. Use it for what it's designed for. As usual, like, share, subscribe, donate if possible, and we look forward to seeing you in about a week. Have a great day.